Hey, it's Kim. I'm going to do an hour basic flow. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and start out in child's pose. So forehead resting on your mat, knees together or spread wide. And just breathing here. So taking a moment to set an intention for your practice. So take a big breath in, filling up with air, and then a long exhale out, just emptying out completely. So big breath in, fill up, expand through your ribs and back ribs, and then a long exhale out, just emptying out completely. So anytime your mind starts to race, just coming back to that breath, back to your intention. Maybe spreading your fingers wide and pressing into your palms. Maybe gently rolling your forehead from side to side. Just taking a moment to feel the support of your mat. Maybe sinking in and just letting go. So big breath in, filling up, expand through the ribs and back ribs. Long exhale out, just empty out completely. One more inhale, breathing in, then exhaling out. We'll go ahead and slowly make your way up to your hands and knees. We'll take a few rounds of our cat-cows moving with our breath. So inhale, crown to the front, tail to the back. Exhale to your cat, round your back, push out all of the air. Inhale to your cow. Exhale to your cat. So just taking a few rounds of each. Moving with your breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. After one more round of each, make your way back to a neutral spine, neutral position, and we'll take a few hip rolls to the right. So getting out any snaps, crackles, and pops. Go ahead and make your way back to center. Take a few hip rolls to the left. We'll make our way back to center and come into our extended puppy pose. So we'll walk our palms toward the top of our mat. Spread your fingers wide. Relax your chest toward your mat. Reach your tail to the sky. And just breathing here, feeling that chest expand with each inhale. We'll go ahead and slowly walk our hands back under our shoulders. And we're gonna tuck our toes, press back to our first downward facing dog. So we want feet about hip width apart, heels pressing toward your mat. Fingers spread wide, reach your tail to the sky. Melt your chest toward your thighs. Go ahead and bend your right knee, press your left heel toward the mat. Bend your left knee, press your right heel toward the mat. And then just walk out your dog, bending one knee and then the other. Maybe swaying into your hips or shaking your head yes or no. Go ahead and come back to center. Inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. And then exhale, heels toward the mat. So inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. We'll tiptoe our feet toward the top of our mat. So inhale, halfway lift. Pull your crown to the front, tail to the back. Exhale, take a nice deep forward fold. And then inhale your arms to the sky. Go ahead and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll step back to our high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra, and exhale to downward facing dog. So we'll take 3 rounds of our Sun A's, moving with our breath. We'll walk, step, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. So one more round. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So just taking a moment here, coming back to your breath, coming back to your intention. Maybe pedaling out your feet, taking any movements, any adjustments that feel good to you. Go ahead and inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels toward the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. Go ahead and tiptoe your feet to the top of your mat. We'll heel toe our feet toward the outer edges and grab opposite elbows coming into our ragdoll. So let that head hang nice and heavy. Maybe swaying from side to side. You can take a slight bend in the knees if that feels better to you. And just breathe in here. Maybe shaking your head yes or no. So just beginning to let any tension, any stress of the day roll off your neck and back. Go ahead and release your hands, heel toe feet back to about hip width apart. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step back to your high push-up. Go ahead and pause here. So stacking shoulders over wrists, engage that core. So nice and strong, pressing into the feet, engaging the legs. You can always modify by dropping the knees to the mat, really squeezing that belly button up and in. And then just go ahead and press back to your downward facing dog. We'll bend our knees, gaze between our thumbs, walk, step, or float to the top of our mat. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll sink down to our chair. So big toes touching, tuck that tail. So sinking down into our imaginary chair and just finding that sweet spot for you. Maybe it's sinking a little deeper. Maybe it's backing off a little. We're going to rock forward to our drinking bird. So we're going to bring palms down, squeeze the pinkies in, rock onto the balls of the feet. If it feels like too much, you can stay in that chair pose. Go ahead and sink back to your chair. So reach those arms to the sky. One more time, drinking bird. Rock forward to the balls of the feet. Palms down, squeeze the pinkies in. Sink back to your chair. One more inhale. On your exhale, let it go. Forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. And then step or hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Go ahead and reach that right leg to the sky. Maybe bend your knee if you'll open your hip. And roll out that ankle if it feels good to you. Reach that right leg to the sky. We'll step through and rise up to our warrior one. So back foot pointing toward about 10 o'clock. Right knee over that right ankle. Just try to square those hips toward the top of your mat. You can have hands at heart center or overhead. Maybe making a connection, bringing the biceps toward the ears. So just inhaling and exhaling here. We're going to go ahead and open up to goalpost arms, so just expand across the chest. And then release hands to the mat, step back to our high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. And exhale to down. We'll reach that left leg to the sky. So try to press equally into both palms. Maybe bending your knee, feeling open your hip. Just taking any movements here that feel good to you. We'll reach that left leg to the sky and then step through and rise up to our warrior one. So back foot pointing toward about 2 o'clock. Left knee over that left ankle, and then just squaring those hips to the top of your mat. So maybe lifting the chest, lifting the rib cage. Maybe making that connection overhead, pulling the biceps toward the ears. And then just checking in, pressing into those outer edges of the feet. Feeling nice and rooted, nice and strong through the legs. Reaching up through the arms. We'll open up to goalpost arms, so expand across the chest. Release your hands to your mat, step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So just breathing here. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. We're going to take 2 rounds of our sun bees, so moving with our breath. We'll walk, step, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sink down to your chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Reach that right leg up to about hip height. Step through, rise up, warrior one. Hands to your mat, step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Left leg up to about hip height. Step through, rise up, warrior one. Hands to your mat, step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sink down to your chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Right leg to about hip height. Step through. Reach and rise, warrior one. Hands to your mat. Step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Left leg up to about hip height. Step through, reach and rise, warrior one. Hands to your mat. Step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So just breathing here. Coming back to your intention. Coming back to your breath. So nice long inhale, filling up. Nice long exhale, letting go. Pressing into those palms, melting your chest toward your thighs, reaching your tail to the sky. Maybe taking that slight micro bend into the elbows. Go ahead and inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels towards your mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. So we're going to keep our feet on our two separate planes, two separate running boards. We're going to step that right foot forward and rise up to our crescent lunge. So that back leg nice and long, right knee over that right ankle. If it feels like too much, you can always drop that left knee. You can have hands at heart center or reach them overhead. So just breathing here, maybe lifting that rib cage slightly. We're going to take a gentle twist to the right. So left arm to the front, right arm to the back. Reach those arms in opposite directions. Really pulling the body. And then hands to heart center, left elbow to the outside of that right leg. So press into the palms. Stack those wrists, elbows, your shoulders. Maybe opening up to fly. And just breathing here. Go ahead and release your hands to your mat. We're going to step back to our high push-up. Pause here, so engaging the core. And then roll your heels to the right, coming into our side plank. So you can drop that right knee, stagger or stack the feet, and just reach that left hip to the sky. Go ahead and release that left hand. We're going to exhale to low, inhale to up, and exhale to down. So take a big breath in, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, press your heels toward the mat. We're going to keep those feet on those two separate planes. Step that left foot forward and rise up to your crescent lunge. So again, always knowing you can have hands at heart center, you can drop that right knee for the modification, or reach arms to the sky, just finding that sweet spot for you. So just breathing here. And we're going to take that gentle twist to the left. So right arm to the front, left arm to the back. Reach in those opposite directions. And then we'll release hands to heart center. Right elbow to the outside of that left leg. Press into the palms. Try to stack the joints. Maybe opening up to fly. So just beginning to twist out those toxins from the body. One more inhale. On your exhale, release your hands to the mat. And we're going to set up for a plank on the other side. So step back to your high push-up. Roll your heels to the left. So left shoulder over that left wrist. Just coming to wherever feels good to you. Reaching that right hip to the sky. Just breathing here. We're going to release that right hand, come back to our high push-up. And just lower all the way down onto your belly. So we're going to bring our right cheek to our mat. Arms out to a T. Bend that left leg, left toes to the right side of your mat. So just breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. We'll go ahead and come back to center. We're going to bring that left cheek to our mat. Bend the right leg, right toes to the left side of the mat. Just breathing here. Maybe coming back to your intention. Coming back to your breath. We'll go ahead and come back to center. We'll bring our hands under our shoulders and press back to your child's pose for just a moment. So pressing into those palms. Just breathing here. So feeling the support of your mat. Focusing on your breath. On your intention. And always knowing that child's pose is here. We'll go ahead and press back to our downward facing dog. So we're going to bend our knees, gaze between our thumbs, walk, step, or float to the top of our mat. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And we're going to sink down to our chair. So big toes touching, weight sinking into the heels. We're going to release hands to heart center and twist to the right. So that left elbow to the outside of that right leg. So pressing into the palms, sinking into the seat, lifting the chest. Maybe opening up to fly. If you need more space, you can bring that left hand to the outside of the right leg, right hand to the lower back. So one more inhale. On your exhale, let it go. Forward fold. We'll heel to our feet toward the outer edges of our mat. Take peace fingers around big toes. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So just let that head hang nice and heavy. You can work on your flexibility, maybe pulling yourself closer to your legs, maybe straightening the legs or working towards straightening them. Work on a more restorative pose by bending into the knees. Just relaxing onto the thighs. So just meeting yourself wherever you are today. Go ahead and release the hands, turn the heels and toes out, and we'll sink down to our Buddha squat. So just bringing hands to heart center, maybe pressing the elbows into the legs. Just breathing here. Just inhaling and exhaling here. If you have crow in your practice, maybe planting the hands, maybe flying your crow, maybe rocking forward and back, toe to heel, maybe lifting one foot and counting to 5, maybe lifting both. If you're flying your crow, go ahead and make your way back to your Buddha squat. We'll release our hands, forward fold, heel toe those feet back to about hip width apart. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to inhale our arms to the sky. Rinse through. So exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So we're going to walk, step, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sink down to your chair. So tuck that tail, sink your weight into your heels. So suck that belly button up and in. We'll release hands to heart center and twist to the left. So right elbow to the outside of that left leg. Press into those palms. Maybe opening up to fly. So sinking down, lifting the chest. Breathing here, finding that sweet spot for you. One more inhale. On your exhale, let it go. Forward fold. We'll heel to our feet toward the outer edges of our mat. We're going to come into our gorilla pose. We're going to go palms up, toes meet wrists. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull that back nice and flat. And then exhale, let it go. Forward fold. And again, you can kind of choose to work on flexibility or bend into the knees and just melt into that restorative pose, maybe relaxing the belly onto the thighs, adding any movement that feels good to you. Go ahead and inhale, halfway lift one more time. And then exhale, try to let go just a little bit more. We're going to release our hands, turn our heels and toes out, and we'll sink back into that Buddha squat. So hands to heart center, maybe pressing those elbows into the legs, maybe flying your crow. So just coming to wherever feels good to you. So sometimes that might be pushing ourselves, maybe trying to find that edge. And sometimes it might just be backing off. Checking in with the breath, checking in with the body. If you're in your crow, go ahead and make your way back to your Buddha squat. We're going to go ahead and release our hands, forward fold. Heel toe your feet back to hip width apart. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to inhale our arms to the sky. And then just relax our hands by our sides. So we're going to set up for a couple balancing poses. So root that left foot into your mat. Bring that right foot to wherever's comfortable for you. We're going to come into our tree so you can keep that kickstand. You can bring your foot to your calf or thigh, just making sure to avoid the knee. So press that foot, press that leg together. Try to peel open the hip. You can keep hands at heart center, or maybe growing the branches. So just breathing here, root down, rise up, reaching through the crown and pressing down into all four corners of that left foot. We'll go ahead and release our hands, release that foot, and we'll take our tree on the other side. So that left foot coming to wherever feels good to you. So just breathing here. Pressing into that right foot, reaching through the crown. Maybe growing those branches. Just breathing here. Go ahead and release that right hand, or release the hands, release the foot. We'll take our tree one more time on each side. So right foot coming to wherever feels good to you. If you want to try a different arm variation, maybe interlacing the fingers, press the palms down, and then reach them up to the sky. So really rooting down, reaching up, pulling your body in those opposite directions, trying to find that balance. Just breathing here. We'll go ahead and release the hands, release the foot, and we'll take our tree on the other side. So left foot coming to wherever feels good to you. Hands coming to wherever feels good, maybe interlacing fingers the opposite way, pressing those palms down, and then reaching those palms up to the sky. So just breathing here. Again, finding that balance by pulling the body in those opposite directions. Peeling open the hip, reaching up. Maybe finding a nice gaze at a neutral point. We'll release our hands, release that foot. We're going to take one more balance pose on each side. So we'll take our eagle pose. So open up to those goalpost arms. Bring that right arm under, right leg over. So keep a kickstand just to start. Get nice and grounded, nice and stable. So sink down into that chair-like pose. Sinking down, reaching up. Maybe wrapping that foot. So sinking down, reaching those fingertips up. If it feels like too much, you can bring hands to the shoulders. We'll go ahead and unravel the arms, unravel the legs, and we'll take our eagle on the other side. So left arm under, left leg over. So keeping that kickstand, sinking down, getting nice and stable. Squeeze into that center line. Maybe reaching the fingertips up, maybe wrapping that foot, but squeezing everything into that center line. Breathing here, wringing your body out like a wet towel. Go ahead and unravel the arms, unravel the legs. Inhale your arms to the sky. We're gonna make a connection overhead. Feet about hip width apart, getting nice and grounded. Engage the core. We're gonna lean over to the right. Go ahead and grab that left wrist. Give yourself a gentle stretch. Peel that left shoulder open. We'll come back to center. Switch sides. Lean over to the left. Grab that right wrist. Root through that right foot. Go ahead and come back to center. We'll exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. And exhale to down. Reach that right leg up to about hip height. We're going to bring knee to nose and then step through and rise up to your warrior one. We'll peel open to our warrior two. So right heel in line with the arch of that back foot, just relaxing your shoulders. And we're going to come into our side angle. So right forearm to that right thigh. Reach that left arm to the sky. Try not to collapse into that right arm, but try to lift up that right rib cage. Try to reach through those left fingertips. If it feels okay, you can extend that left arm towards the front of the room, maybe pinky down, thumb up. Just feeling a nice long line from the arch of that back foot out those left fingertips. We'll rise back up to our warrior two. And come into our reverse warrior. So reach that right arm forward and then up and back. So staying nice and bent into that front leg, really reach through those fingertips. We'll come back to our warrior two. Make our way into our triangle. So straighten that right leg, kick that left hip back. Reach forward, right hand coming to your shin, ankle, or toward the mat. Just peeling that top shoulder open. And just breathing here. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Try not to collapse, but lifting through that left side body. We'll bend that right knee, come back to our warrior two. Catch our hips, toes in, heels out, facing the sidewall. Interlace fingers behind your back, shine your heart, and then exhale, forward fold. So use your core to help lower you down. Let those arms fall forward. Let that head hang nice and heavy. I'm just breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Try to open up through those shoulders. Try to let any tension roll off the neck and back. Go ahead and release that right hand to the mat or the floor. Press through the palm and reach that left arm to the sky. We'll go ahead and switch sides. So plant that left hand, press through the palm, reach that right arm up. If it feels okay, you can walk your gaze to the palm. Go ahead and release your hands. We're going to walk them out like our extended puppy pose at the beginning. So spread those fingers wide, press into your palms, and then just relax your chest toward your thighs. Pull your hips back. Just breathing here. Go ahead and and slowly walk those hands back, engage the core, roll up one vertebrae at a time. We're going to pivot back to those warrior one feet. So square those hips to the top of your mat. Step in maybe part way. We're going to fold over that front leg, coming into our pyramid pose. So relaxing your head and neck. Pull that right hip back, left hip forward. Letting any tension just pour out. We're going to take our hands a big step forward. Go ahead and reach that left leg to the sky, coming into our standing split. So relax your head and neck. Reach that left leg up just a little bit higher than you think you can. We're going to release left foot to meet right. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. We're going to lift that left leg up to about hip height. Bring knee to nose. Step through and rise up to your warrior one. Go ahead and peel open to your warrior two. So reaching those arms in opposite directions, relaxing the shoulders down the back. We'll make our way into our side angle, so left forearm to that left thigh. You can reach that right arm to the sky. Again, lifting the ribs, trying to just create a little bit of space. Maybe reaching those fingertips toward the front of the room, trying to peel your top hip and shoulder open. Just breathing here, focusing on the breath. We'll come back to our warrior two. Make our way into our reverse warrior. So reach that left arm forward and then up and back. So staying nice and bent into that left leg, really extending through those fingertips. We'll come back to our warrior two and come into our triangle. So straighten that left leg, kick that right hip back, reach forward, left hand coming to your shin, ankle, or toward the mat. So trying not to collapse into the pose, trying to lift through that left or right side body. Trying to stack your hips and shoulders. Trying to get that body on one single plane. So just breathe in here. Go ahead and bend that left knee, come back to our warrior two. We're going to catch our hips, turn our toes and heels out again. Go ahead and interlace fingers behind the back. Shine your heart. And then exhale, forward fold. So let those arms fall forward. Let any stress, any tension, just pour off your neck and back. Nice, deep belly breaths. Go ahead and release your hands to the mat. We're going to walk that right hand over toward the right foot or ankle. Reach that left arm to the sky. Try to pull your head and tail in opposite directions. If it feels good, you can bring that left hand to that right hip pocket. We'll go ahead and walk it over to the other side. So bring that left hand to the right ankle or foot, reach that right arm to the sky, pull that head and tail in opposite directions. Try to get a nice flat back, maybe bringing right hand to that left hip pocket. Go ahead and come back to center and just grab opposite elbows, coming into your ragdoll. Maybe just swaying it out from side to side. ahead and release your hands, engage your core, slowly come back up to standing. We're going to pivot back to those warrior one feet. So maybe stepping that back foot in part way if you have the space, maybe leaving it where it is. We'll square those hips and then fold over that front leg. So try to pull that left hip back, right hip forward. Relax your head and neck. And just breathing here. Take your hands a big step forward, reach that right leg to the sky. So relax your head and neck. Try to reach that right leg up just a little bit higher than you think you can. We'll release right foot to meet left. And just slowly roll up to standing. We'll heel toe our feet to hip width apart or a little bit wider. And just come into your mountain pose. So try to stack shoulders over the ankles. Finding a neutral gaze, lifting your chest, maybe closing your eyes. Just focusing on your breath. Breathing here. Go ahead and inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll step or hop back to our chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale to our downward facing dog. So big breath in, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels toward the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. One more time, inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. Go ahead and reach that right leg to the sky. Bend your knee, peel open your hip. We're going to bring that right knee to that right wrist. So coming into our pigeon. So left leg nice and long. And then just coming down to wherever's comfortable for you. Maybe lowering onto the elbows, maybe relaxing your head to the mat. If this feels like too much, always knowing that you can come to your figure four stretch on your back. Just trying to let any of that tension start to peel or start to pour out of your hips. So tension can have a tendency to kind of build up in the hips, giving us that tight feeling. So we want to just pretend like our hip is like a faucet that we're turning on, opening up, and just letting that tension pour out like water. So just breathing here. Melting into your mat. So just inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So big breath in. Long exhale out. Anytime the mind starts to race, just focusing on your breath, on your intention. We'll go ahead and slowly make our way back up onto our hands. Go ahead and step back to your downward facing dog, maybe reaching that right leg to the sky, bending your knee, peeling open your hip. Just taking any movements that feel good to you. We'll release right foot to meet left. So reach that left leg to the sky. Bend your knee, peel open your hip. And then left knee to left elbow. And just coming into your pigeon on the other side. Okay, figure four stretch is always there. Maybe noticing any subtle differences from one side compared to the other. And just melting into your mat, finding that sweet spot for you. If you have a block or a pillow, you can always support the head or maybe stacking hands into fists. You can roll that forehead out from side to side if it feels good to you. And just breathing here. Maybe thinking let on your inhales and go on your exhales. So just letting that tension pour out like water. Letting it float away. Just breathing here. Focusing on the breath, on the intention. We'll go ahead and make our way back up onto our hands. So we'll step back to our downward facing dog or that three-legged dog, reaching that left leg to the sky. Taking any movements here that feel good to you. We're going to release left foot to meet right. So inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels toward the mat. Go ahead and drop your knees to your mat. Cross at your ankles. We're going to extend our legs out in front of us, nice and long. So inhale your arms to the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. So just breathing here. Maybe flexing the feet, trying to make it a nice active pose. So just trying to quiet the mind. Just letting go of anything else. We'll go ahead and come back up to our seated position. Bring that right foot in, left leg nice and long. Inhale your arms to the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. So again, maybe flexing that foot, and just breathing here. Go ahead and make your way back up to your seated position. We're going to bring that right hand behind that right hip. Reach that left arm and hip to the sky. Extend through those fingertips. Nice stretch in that left side body. We'll make our way back to that seated position. So right leg nice and long. Bend that left leg in. Go ahead and inhale your arms to the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. So maybe flexing that foot, just melting into the pose, trying to feel that slow burn. Nice active stretch. So just breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll make our way back up to that seated position. Left hand behind the left hip. Reach that right arm and hip to the sky. So extend through those fingertips. We'll come back to that seated position. We're going to make our way onto our backs. So knees bent, feet about hip width apart. Setting up for a bridge pose. So you can relax your hands by your sides, press into your feet. So lift your hips, lift your thighs. Keeping that head and neck nice and neutral. We'll go ahead and slowly release down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to come back up to our bridge pose. So lifting the hips, lifting the thighs, maybe interlacing fingers behind the back and rolling onto the shoulders. Just breathing here. Go ahead and slowly release back down. We're going to bring that right ankle to the top of the left leg. Hug that knee in toward your chest. So try to let any last bits of tension just pour out of the hip. Go ahead and switch sides. So left ankle to the top of that right leg. You can always point or flex the feet. You can subtly just try to pull that leg away from the body a little bit. Just seeing what feels best to you. We're going to curl up into a tight little ball, and we're just going to rock and roll a few times front to back. So just massaging out that spine. Go ahead and make your way back up to a seated position. So legs nice and long again. Right foot to the outside of the left leg. Sit up nice and tall and then twist to the right. So flex that left foot. Reach your crown to the sky. Maybe gazing toward that right shoulder. We'll come back to center, right leg nice and long, left foot to the outside of the right leg, and then twist to the left. Flexing that right foot. Reach that crown to the sky. We'll go ahead and come back to center. We're going to bend those knees, plant our feet about hip width apart. We're just going to slowly lower down onto our back and come into our happy baby pose. So either peace fingers around big toes or grabbing the outer edges of the feet. Maybe gently rocking from side to side. We'll come back to center. We're just going to reach those legs to the sky. So maybe rolling out your ankles, maybe wiggling your toes or rolling out your wrists. And just pausing here. We're going to come back to center, curl up into a tight little ball. Give yourself a great big hug. So squeeze your fingers, squeeze your toes, squeeze all of the muscles in your face and body. And then just letting go. Coming into your final resting pose. So just closing your eyes and enjoying your last few minutes on your mat at your practice. Go ahead and slowly beginning to add movement. So maybe wiggling your fingers, maybe wiggling your toes. And whenever you're ready, slowly rolling over onto the right side of the body. So coming into a fetal position, just pausing here. Our fetal position representing a fresh start, a new cycle. Go ahead and slowly make our way up to an easy seated posture. So bringing hands to heart center. The light within me honors the light, love, and peace within you. Together we bow forward and say, Namaste. Yay! Thank you so much. Have an awesome rest of your night or day. Namaste.